You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a
looking
bat, I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad.
Shut up.
Salute everyone, welcome to the Heal the Ring podcast. This is BX Sports Jedi, Kev, the Don of the Watch-Alongs. Salute, salute, salute. We are here to review Ring of Honor. It's going to be a short, quick video. Just wanted to make it, give you my thoughts of Ring of Honor, Death by Dishonor. Boy, I got a lot here to say, a lot of good things, to be honest with you. If you see me do all my, watch my AW Dynamite, oh, here we go. He's going to get the negative review. No. It was really good. R.O.H, Death Before Dishonor, the 2022 edition. We saw with every championship of Ring of Honor was at stake Saturday night for the promotion. And for my surprise, first of all, the kickoff show, the pre-show was really good. You saw some really good matches there. I was very surprised, very pleasantly surprised of the build-up before the event. If you were on the fence and you don't even think about purchasing Ring of Honor, and you saw the free preview fights and what was in stake there, we saw a lot of trio match. You saw Willa Nightingale. You saw a lot of different good things there, and it was very entertaining. You know what? It's like, wow, it was. You know what? Think if you're financially comfortable or not in debt, you want to say, you know what, I will plunk up the money to watch it. You at least at a pay-per-view standpoint, watching it at home, and I could imagine in the arena, there was plenty of on rooms, and I'll get to that a little later, space for you to enjoy the matches. And we kick it off, the show starts, and a little bit of a question mark, puzzling for myself. Maybe I'm an old relic traditionalist. You get the World Heavyweight Champion immediately kick off. I know everyone is building up, excited for Antonio Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, finally trying to get his first opportunity of possibly winning a world title, R.O.H world champion against Jonathan Gresham. It kicks it off, and I go, what are you telling me about the R.O.H world champion? Do you really give a crap? Because that you're making it as a intercontinental title match, or I'm just using it as a reference 24/7. Are you really showing that emphasis on that title? Are you more important on so the way I felt by him going first, the television title had more moxie, than the heavyweight title. But the match starts. First thing you notice, the height disparity. Gresham to Antonio Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli. What a difference. My God. And no disrespect to Jonathan. I said it before on the review, on the Rampage review. He is a really good wrestler. And of course, there's a reason why he's not really a mainstream wrestler. It's not because of his ability. It's about his. Unfortunately, as a society, we view folks with our vision. He is not tall enough, but he's also has some words back and forth. He says he hasn't spoken. He rarely speaks to Tony Khan. He mentioned just a quick conversation. He thinks that he's expressing Now I don't know if that's sour grapes, but he's been saying that prior to that match last night, how he feels that he's overlooked. He's not respected as a champion in that company or seen overlooked. But there's some truth to that words you could say by Grisham, or you could, yeah, there's some of it. Also, dude, you're not commercialized, especially in a company that wants to go public and wants to compete with WWE. You want to show, and I keep saying it, you got to show grand champions, larger than life persona. Yes. Oh, but Rey Mysterio makes it work. Right. Rey Mysterio uses the luchador. And I understand he says you need gimmicks, guys with no gimmicks because, get over, and he needs to have a gimmick. He looks phenomenal with his gimmick with the octopus waving the big, huge flag. I like Grisham. Don't get me wrong. It's not a knock on him. He is a great in-ring competitor. He brings it. His matches are never boring. His matches are really technically and even clean, no botches. He's good despite the height disparity. He is built like a powerhouse, like a brick house. But tonight it was not the night for him. Luck did not tap him on his shoulders. Finally, Claudio Castagnoli gets the victory, wins the R.O.H heavyweight title. I have mixed reactions to that. I know immediately it's good for him. Granted, everyone, every fan is totally happy for him. I'm happy he's got a world title. Granted, great, good job. He put the work in. He's gone through all the uphill battles and climbs and wars and mediocrity, being a mediocre wrestler, and it's not his fault. It's sometimes the booking. So, also, the part that I dislike so much and is so tasteless, in my opinion. This is my opinion. It's what makes me the BX Sports Jedi Kev, the Don of the Watch Along. Because it's my opinion. Like it or not like it. You don't have to agree. We could agree to disagree, because I know you guys always, or most of the time, I disagree. And that's not for the AEW guys to get your feelings hurt. But here again, MJF is correct again. You bring in a next WWE guy in, and granted, Antonio Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli is marketable indeed. He fits the criteria of being a marketable champion. He's tall. You could say handsome. You could say fit, well in-ring competitor. He doesn't barely botch. Although, my opinion, you gotta change up I could sit down here and could write down all the moves you're gonna do and when you're gonna do them. European uppercut, the swing, another European uppercut, belly to belly, double arm. That's it. You're limited. You're short. You're great, but you do the same moves in every match over and over and over and over. This is why you were mid card in WWE. Also, you don't bring that extra element. That's just me. I'm happy you won your title, but watch all his matches again. Watch his matches going forward. Guarantee he's going to throw about 6 European uppercuts next match to defend his first title defense. 6 European uppercuts, the swing. It's a rinse and repeat with Cesaro with the same moves. But I'm not taking away from his victory. He gets the victory. I'm thinking here again, you're bringing another WWE guy in. Only been 3 weeks with the company. He came in on Forbidden Door, and now you take, although R.O.H, we'll get that a little later, you gave him the R.O.H world title because you wasn't going to give him the interim title. You wasn't going to give him the TNT title. You just gave it a Warlord. You just created a new title that, and you're not going to take it from Pac, who's been there from day one, and he just got it. So you had to give Cesaro, and then you would have been hearing people saying, "Oh, he's a mid-carder." You wasn't going to give him a tag team title because you got FTR, you got the Young Bucks. Well, the Young Bucks no longer the title. You had to give it Swerve and Lee. So that was the only title to give, was that, because the TV title, you weren't going to have him against Sloppy Joe because he wasn't even nowhere near that range, and he has to defend it, try to get past Jay Lethal tonight. So I was like, ugh, what a disrespect to me. Jonathan Gresham has been carrying. He was a carryover from the new ownership. Now Khan just bought the promotion in the beginning of the year. He's one of the holdover champions. He stood there in the last Supercard. He still comes on TV. I like that build-up they had. him and Lee Moriarty, I like that build up. They just injected. It looked like they just came in. Let's inject Claudio. You could have kept at least the R.O.H guys. Let him defend his title with the R.O.H guys. That's been there with the company, and no, they threw card. It's okay. Hey, you're the billionaire that bought that company. You deal with the repercussions with that. Eventually, folks are going to start getting the bandage out, because I don't think the AEW crowd is that much with the horse blinders. But sooner or later, they're going to start looking to the left and the right, and it's going to get a mask, in my opinion. He wins. I thought it was a disrespect to the champ. Especially, not only you make him drop the title to the ex-WWE wrestler, you make him the first match on the card. It's like, hurry, let's go, drop the title, and get the hell out of AEW. You know what? It wouldn't be surprised if I would never see Gresham ever wrestle for AEW or Ring of Honor again. He might have maybe one Ring of Honor match, maybe. Me personally, I'd be surprised. I don't know what his contract situation is, but I wouldn't be surprised if if we see him on Impact or MLW or an indie circuit somewhere somehow. Maybe now with Triple H, head of talent creations, we could see an NXT run for Gresham. Although, why would he go to NXT? That's just me. But I don't see him returning. I think that's one of the first wrestlers that's going to leave with bad blood in their mouth or bad taste in their mouth working for AEW. That's just my opinion. But we move on. I felt bad for him. He didn't deserve that. I think he deserved better. My opinion. I just thought he deserved better. I just didn't like that match there with it, especially the first match of the night. It was a little bit worrisome, but we shall move on there. I just wanted to go back again to the prelims or the kickoff show. I mentioned it earlier. We had the Shinobi Shadow Squad versus the Trust Busters. The Trust Busters beat the Shinobi Shadow Squad. That was a really good match. I got over when the guy's name was Cheeseburger. Being a little bit of chubby guy myself, a cheeseburger name. I was like, ooh, cheeseburger. But it was cool. And then you had Tony Depp, Alex Zane, Blake Christian taking on Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Personally, the Gates of Agony are, you know me, if you hear me before, I am a huge fan of the Gates of Agony. They are the it factors. They're the new, they're our modern day version, my opinion, the way they just by looks and visuals. I'm not talking about ring comparative. By looks and visuals, they remind me of they have that War Warriors, Powers of Pain, Demolition, that type of bad dudes. Like, I mean, in a good way, destructive. I would love them to. I don't think they'll get the push they need in AEW with the Young Bucks, the Briscoes now signing a long-term contract or a contract extension with AEW and so forth. I would love for them if they have an opportunity to get out of there to head over to WWE. I think they need tag teams. They will be marketing. He's especially with Toa being part Samoan. I'm not saying a bloodline situation, but man, that would be good to see there. They are so great. And it's surprising to see Brian Cage return. Thought he was going to be done with AEW, but he's returned. It's good to see him there. Brian Cage, another one who's a big monster, an animal. What I would love to see what they think of Brian Cage. Visually, Brian Cage and Warlord will look phenomenal. Those two big, strong men going at it, by aesthetics looks, but I don't know. Well, I just don't want to deviate from that. They had a match that was fun, and I want to mention, Willa Nightingale versus Ashlyn Kay. That was another good match. Willa looked really sharp, got the crowd over with her intro, and going on was a good match. The women, it was good to see that to warm up, and then we go on. We talked about the opening bout at the match was the world title, and again, everyone was happy for him to win that title. I was okay with it. I was happy for Claudio. I had mixed reactions. You mentioned, not to rehash what I just finished saying. So we'll move on here. And we had the 6-man tag team champions. Now you've seen Tony Khan wants to do that with AEW. He wants to implement an AEW 6-man tag. I think that works in AEW more than in Ring of Honor. Not enough talent in AEW. In R.O.H. to keep this title, but it was a fun match. You had Dalton Castle with the boys taking on the Righteous. The Righteous, they defending champions. They look pretty good too. All in all, the match was really good. You know, everyone. The gimmick of Dalton Castle is kind of comedic, funny with the. You know, he sells it so good. With coming in with looking like a peacock, getting the boys to be stairs, table, chairs, throne. I love it. It's a different thing. It's a funny thing. But Dalton, when he gets serious, Dalton Castle is a badass wrestler. He is awesome. He does some good moves. He sells the moves. Also, the guys, they up and down the boys. You thought they were a gimmick. They showed that they were not gimmicky. They were doing some good moves there. I thought, to me, it is one of the best matches. One of the either third best match of the card. It was really good. I mean, it was phenomenal. The crowd loved it. I enjoyed it from my home. It was really entertaining. We see a Dutch flying over the ropes and squashing the boys. That was a great spot. That was a hilarious good spot. Castle launching his partners, like I mentioned, over the ropes onto the opponents. The crowd, just using them like weapons. That was another Dalton Castle phenomenal. All in all, you see a new champion. We get the title goes to Castle and the boys. They're carrying the gold, and they are the new trios champions, 6-man tag champions of the world. And you know what? I'm all right with it. I'm all right with that title change. I'm not a big, I don't watch that too much, but Dalton Castle with a title with the boys, it's good. You know what? They have a factor to carry over. It to me, it kind of when with that these little bit of title changes, it's like they're cleansing R.O.H. I hope I'm wrong, of some of the originals and some ones that they want to keep, because we seen Dalton Castle on Dynamite and Rampage at times, at least a few times. We haven't the champions. I did not know who were these champions. The Righteous brothers, the Righteous. I didn't see them much, so I didn't know them, and it could be that they're cleansing them and bringing them people we know to an AEW, or at least the casual AEW that watches just Mondays and Fridays, not really into Ring of Honor. You're trying to get us to watch Ring of Honor by bringing guys that we've seen on Dynamite and Rampage. That's the way I felt. That's my opinion there. And we move on to the next match, and we have the Pure Championship. Now, I enjoy these rules. I did not know the rules of the Pure Championship. Just in case they have judges. In case it goes there, they have a time limit. They also have how many times they could use the rope to break submissions or a pin. They get 3 opportunities. After that, it's even if they hold on to the rope, to break, they will not break the submission or use it to help them break a hold. I love the whole match, back and forth. Garcia, Wheeler was really good match there. Garcia, you could see he's trying to be turning into a wrestling heel, getting the real heel heat. Garcia was very impressive, was also known. Remember, he was under the tutelage back in NXT under, some good teachers coming up, and he just brings it. Garcia is going to be a good in-ring competitor. There's something missing about Garcia, though, to be to blow up as a commercial, wow, billboards, can he highlight one-on-one in I always use the standard WrestleMania or a Starrcade or Double or Nothing. He's the main. There's something missing about Daniel Garcia with it, but all in all, it doesn't take away the talent that he has and the ability that he has. He is still A+ competitor in my book. You saw Wheeler Yuta get the victory, clean victory in the center of the ring, and a very good match. If you like wrestling and not a lot of high-flying stuff, you just got good wrestling with chops, suplexes, submissions, and so forth. This was the match for you. In this card, you had a little bit of everything, which was a fun card for. You get the victory, Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta tries to shake the hand. A lot of wrestling mannerisms. Garcia did not, gave him the middle finger and walked away as a heel with the middle finger. All in all, do we see that feud? I think that feud is going to continue. It didn't feel like the chapter was closed there between Yuta and Garcia, but Bob them, I'll give it a little bit of a breather, and then you could relate to it maybe on an AEW platform. We'll see. We'll see there. But it was a really good match. I cannot knock it. It was really, really good. And now we have the brother versus brother, Dragon Lee, who they say is brother of Rush, Rush. Um, we know Rush is partners with it, and also the Gobernable, the faction, with Andrade El Idolo. They come out. I got a little tongue twisted there for some reason. And the match was brother versus brother, and what a good match. They one thing about wrestling and luchadores, and they always put on a good show. If you like I said, you saw pure wrestling, you saw little aerial high stuff between those two. You saw Roosh use the advantage of blood by trying to bait his brother for a hug and sympathy part, and he gets the victory. He uses that to his advantage. The match was really, you could say, second best match of the night, personally. And then, yeah, second best match for me. Phenomenal. Oh, the overhead suplex off the ring apron. You've seen all the bullhorns kicking Lee. And there were so many opportunities that got the crowd and injected, innovated, on their feet. You know what? Those guys, those two brothers bought it. Second match of the night, you were excited there. It was what you want. And of course, the Mexican luchadors brings it. They did it. And you could, and dare I say, it really wasn't a Mexican luchador match. It was just a battle. A brother. You could tell these are brothers. They were the moves they were bringing one another. They were pushing the envelope. And if it wasn't for the top match, 2 out of 3 falls, and I gave away my spoiler, this could have easily, maybe some people might think this might have been the match of the night, but 1A and 1B, you can't go wrong. So we move on. We have the R.O.H Women's Championship, Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb. Folks, I am a big champion of women's wrestling. I believe that women's wrestling, is a huge part. I believe they arrived. I believe they're great. I've been saying AEW needs to do an only women's pay-per-view, just women, and showcase and give the women the right time, the right story angle, the right matchups. They need a whole segment alone because they have a lot of talented women. And I always say that. Of course, WWE, they showcase their women very well. In this case here, the match was really good, but I was never thinking that Serena Deeb was going to beat Martinez, although I started seeing some influx of AEW talent winning some of the R.O.H titles here and people that we know, but Serena Deeb, she just doesn't have the world champion it factor. She's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong, a great women's wrestler, a great wrestler, period. No matter if she has the Y or the X gene, she is a good wrestler, or just a wrestler in the ring. But that's it. There is nothing there to excite you seeing her as championship material. The match with Martinez was good. They both ladies bought it. You saw some good moves there. Martinez always brings it. They all, you saw some good near fall finishes. You saw some working, a storyline working on the legs, working on the caps. You saw, and they sold it. They were really, you saw the crowd actually was cheering for Deeb. There was some Deeb chants, but no way in the world that I knew that Serena Deeb was going to win this title. It was more like, I already know you're not going to win, but you know what? Let's watch. Let's see how, and not for nothing, despite that I know that she wasn't going to win and I knew kind of the outcome and I felt that I convicted that I know Martinez going to win. I'm going to say it was entertaining. I'm not going to hate on it. I'm not going to say it was anything negative, because the ladies bought it. Serena Deeb is just circumstance. It's a bad circumstance. You complain that you don't get that push, but maybe you were meant to be an instructor. Just me. And I know there's a lot of talented women, and I just don't see it with Serena Deeb. But thank you for entertaining. That was a very entertaining match. We appreciate it, and we see Martinez win by a tap out, gets the submission for a victory. Then we have the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Samoa Joe taking on Jay Lethal. Now, Samoa Joe has not been seen on TV since the attack. Haven't seen there, but the match was a personal vendetta match. You had a little bit of everything. You had wrestling. You had high flyers and you saw some good women wrestling. You saw the pure title match. And now your TV, this was a brawl. This was a fight. Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe match was brutal. You saw, a lot of just, you could tell they were bringing as bad blood. You see Joe just going vicious, typical. You could see a little bit of a turn back the clock Joe there and of course Jay Lethal works very well there. But you can see appreciate it now, folks, because these guys are going over the hill. You could tell that time is catching up to both of these guys. And it wasn't a sloppy match. It's not because it was bad or sloppy. You could just tell by the physicality that they're going to be old. And, 2 more years from now, this is going to be a really train wreck. Right now, and let's enjoy it. Let's appreciate it. You get to see, you saw you saw Joe. Joe is still incredibly explosive at times, but you could tell he gets tired and winded. He tried to go for the muscle buster. I like the fact that Lethal stepped on his hands, trying to stop him from using that to his advantage. All in all, Joe wins by a submission. He gets his submission hold on. He get him with the Quiana clutch, and he gets the victory by submission. He made Jay Lethal tap out, which I thought it was going to be a pin finish, but he gets the submission and gets the victory. What a pretty good match. This was a good match there. I wish there was time here, be honest with you, but I'm glad the Briscoes and FTR got it. You can't have 2 of these. This would have been a good 2 out of 3, but I don't think Samoa Joe could go. So I take that back. I was gonna say a 2 out of 3 would have been phenomenal with Lethal and Samoa Joe. Both guys could showcase a victory or a setup for each one, and then the final. But I don't think Joe has the stamina. And remember, these guys are getting a little older. And yeah, I strike that comment back. But in the younger days, this would have been a really good match on that kind of there. But we saw Singh and Sanya Dutt enter the arena, interfered. At first, we thought that Lethal was saying stay back, but they still got their nose jumped in there. Lethal escaping the muscle buster, and then he delivered the lethal injection. And Joe kicked out of the lethal injection. So it was cool. The crowd, all the near falls, they sold it. They didn't have two straight power drivers and then they kick out. No, they sold it well. I really liked it. That's how you kick out. That's where you use the kick out on your finishing move. So, what's next for Samoa Joe? Who's gonna emerge as a TV title contender? We don't know, because we don't know what the storyline or who is in R.O.H. and who is AEW. We don't have that separation there. It'll be interesting if someone on the AEW roster wants to step up for that title against Samoa Joe. It'll be interesting to see upcoming weeks how they're going to play that off. Then we come to the main event of the night, the best match of the night. You had the 2 out of 3 falls for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and AEW did put the tag team champion as the main event. I'm all for that. I think, the Castagnoli and Gresham match should have been around where R.O.H. I would have switched with R.O.H. To start the crowd hot, especially that match. They were number A1, B number hot match that was. That could have started off your card. It would have started off the card on fire, and then you would have put the heavyweight title there. That's just my opinion. Sandwich between the women. That's just my opinion. But it is what it is. I'm not the booker. I don't have the billions of dollars yet to own a wrestling, to go in there and put on a card. So it's easier said than done sitting behind this computer. But we get the title match, 2 out of 3, the Briscoes versus FTR. The match starts here. Dueling chants. You had the crowd split, back and forth. Briscoes were announced that they're going to stay, sign their contract with the AEW. So this was not a one and done with the Briscoes and AEW. Wow. So they keep adding more tag teams. Maybe it's just Ring of Honor roster, but Ring of Honor doesn't have a TV place to watch or anywhere to watch this. So it'll be interesting how they're going to keep using the Briscoe brothers going forward. But the Briscoe brothers first match goes, the first fall goes to the Briscoe brothers. They get the pin, and we start the second match there. The Briscoes worked over Hardwood. They target his neck, his head, damaging from the high impact finish just moments earlier. Hardwood creates separations, and he's looking for a tag to Wheeler, but the challenge has been taken for off the apron for a second. And you know, I love it. They try to get that heat. Tag. This was, if you love good wrestling, tag team wrestling, this was the match for you. You know, this was a war, a battle. We seen guys. We saw going. You saw off the breaking of tables. You saw bleeding. You saw blood in the match. The bell was used. Both competitors were bleeding at a time, back and forth. You saw FTR gets the tying match 1-1 apiece here. They get the pin, and we get the third and final fall. My God, my words. I don't have enough words to say how awesome that match really was. And I just hate to say that because there's a lot of marks. Anyone that does anything in wrestling, you know, they could do a split and they start going nuts. This is awesome. No, that match was phenomenal. There, that's the word. That match was phenomenal. They got some gold mine there. If that was wrestling to an indie, if you're an indie wrestler that likes wrestling in the indies, like the pure wrestling, no gimmicks, no storyline, just pure competitors giving it all they got. This was the match. This was phenomenal. Tags, the hardcore had a little bit of hardcore element, wrestling element. It had old school feel, old school vibes. All in all, FTR with the victory on the Briscoe brothers. They get and they win. They retain their titles. R.O.H. This is one of the best matches in the last 20 years in R.O.H. if you ask me. The Briscoe brothers, they have also a 20-year career. Phenomenal in there. This was great. It was phenomenal. If you love it, I just can't stop saying all the good things about it. You have to watch this. If you have a chance just to watch one match out of the Ring of Honor, this is it right here. So pressure's on now for Street Profits and Usos to, if they want to keep having the match of the year, top. Remember, they had a great match on Money in the Bank. If you want to top this, here it is. Here's the, you got to try to bring it. You know, I still think that this one's a little bit better than that Money in the Bank match between them. And it's not about who has the better match, who has a bigger penis contest here. It's about good matches. Were we all entertained? Absolutely. This was entertaining. It was really good. 2 out of 3 hit everyone where they want it. You got it. If you're not satisfied with this match here, something's wrong. Yes. Would you like to see it again? Absolutely. Not right now. Not right now. Give it. You know, if we revisit this, let's say in December, I will. Yes, please. You know, give me some. And also like a build up storyline here. You know, we saw at the end, the Wheeler and Dax wanted got in the ring, cut some microphones, asked the Briscoes to join them. And Briscoes were a little skeptic. They didn't want to. Of course, they just lost. They got in the ring, says, you guys deserve to get cheered by this crowd. And that was a great, classy move by them. You know, but just get right now. Okay, you did that. Good. I don't want to see every time FTR you win a match. We don't need to hear from you after the match. You know, all right, I'm going to let you slide with this one and say, hey, come in here. Enough with that. That's it. I understand you're appreciative and you like the crowd, but give that a bit of a rest. Get your victory, celebrate it with the fans, raise your hands. But we don't need you to get on the mic every time. That's now it's starting to get a little repetitive, and you're gonna have the crowd turn on you because some of these wrestling guys, you know, the fans will turn because that becomes you're gonna hear from you again. You won, good lord, you know. But they are over right now. They are the hottest tag team in wrestling. I mean, at least in AEW, in that side of the land. They're good. They're good. They're over. They're exciting. And we'll see what goes for them now. Everybody wants to see the Bucks taking on FTR. Yes, that would be great, but there is a little bit of a swerve, no pun intended, with Swerve and Keith Lee winning the titles. Do I want to see them go at it? It's not going to be a good match. It's not. FTR is and Keith Lee. They all know each other. They all worked with each other. They have wrestled in matches plenty of times in NXT, and We shall see if they go that route. Personally, for Keith Sweet and Swerve, I would just like to see Gates of Agony to go after that. That'd be a good, to me, that's a good battle there. But we shall see there. Ring of Honor last night was a very entertaining pay-per-view, way better than anything the AEW has put out. I'm not talking about pay-per-view wise, I'm talking about Rampage, Dynamite. This was better than Fyter Fest, if you ask me. It was much more entertaining, much more cleaner, much more none of that when the match is over, go, get in, it's a photo op. No, it was clean. I loved it. And then at the end, not to mention, we have Blackpool Comic Club come out, both Yuta and Castagnoli, with their titles at hand, stand there and keep. I don't know if it's all to interpretation, guys. If they want to be the next to challenge FTR for the tag titles, or they were just bringing all the Ring of Honor champions. But I don't say no, because then you would have had Martinez and Samoa Joe out there. I don't know if after they went off the air they came out, but it from my interpretation, it looked like you wanted a title. They were the next contenders. Blackpool Comic Club wants to come after the tag title. So they look like they're the new facet that wants all the gold, and we shall see there. But all in all, Ring of Honor was a very good show. I was very impressed, very entertained. It was really good. It was well spent, money well spent. At least we know Ring of Honor. We start, even though some of these wrestlers we didn't know who they were, but we saw, everyone know who the Briscoe brothers, other than the boys, that angle with the boys with the Righteous. The Righteous weren't not too known unless if you're a hardcore. I'm talking about from a casual, just the Righteous. Everyone else was more known than some of the wrestlers in Forbidden Door. Although Forbidden Door wasn't a bad pay-per-view, a little long, but it wasn't really bad. If I gotta put Forbidden Door or R.O.H, which one I will watch again? I will watch this one again. Be honest with you, I will watch this pay-per-view again. I will sit there, rewatch this one and Forbidden Door. There's some matches that I will watch at Forbidden Door, but the whole card I will watch Ring of Honor. It was a hit. I really enjoyed it. I wish they would go on their own network, or a different time, a different date. WWE has NXT on a Tuesday. If you're have available for a slot on Thursday nights, this is the night. If I'm Tony Khan looking for a Ring of Honor Thursday nights, have them wrestle Thursday night. They need that's a 1 hour show. Or you could put a 1 hour, if you could go live, if they could give you the opportunity to go live for 1 hour Ring of Honor, 1 hour of Rampage, 2 hour show, I think the fans will support it. But Tony, you have to think about taking the show out of on Friday nights, especially at 10 o'clock at night. That's a tough hour there. People are eating, people are out and about. Friday night, people are getting ready to go either to have some cocktails, socialize, especially you're targeting an older audience of young, mature adults. Yeah, that's a tough time slot. Thursday night, right pre-Friday, when people are waiting for the next day, because Friday's the party night. Thursday night, I think you get more eyeballs. My opinion, if you go 2 hours, you could go 8 to 10 again, the same way you have it with Dynamite, and you get 2 nights of wrestling, and I think it'll work. And I think that will work if you do that live there. It's just my opinion, but we shall see there. They need to be a separate, and let Tony. You can run it the way you like it, but have a couple of groups. Surround yourself with good men and women that will produce it, creative storyline, and let them do it. Let them you back them up with the finances and getting the arenas, the publicizing and getting the marketing and all that other good stuff, and let others handle R.O.H, and let you stay with Dynamite and Rampage. No one messes the way you have it there, fine, but leave Ring of Honor to someone else's hands, so you don't be overworked, because you got something good there in Ring of Honor. So all in all, it was good. It was a good show, and I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to give you my review, my thoughts. Don't forget, we will have the Monday Night Raw review coming up, and some more wrestling news and notes, and we'll keep it here. This is recorded a little earlier. This is going to be replayed, but thank you for watching along with me. And don't forget, we'll be followed by the New York Yankees watch along coming up. and the MMA Weekly with Austin and Chef Dan. They're going to have a lot to say about the UFC in London. They're going to break that down, that card, and I can't wait to hear from them. So this is BX Sports Jedi Kev, the Don of the Watch Along, saying, we'll see you. Get over life. Always pin the situation and always come up on top. So we'll see you next time here, and have a blessed day.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs